I had everything I ever dreamed of. I was about to marry Mark, the perfect man, and I had a best friend, Anna, who was always my confidant, my partner in everything. I trusted her more than anyone else, knowing that I could count on her for anything. I always imagined she would be my maid of honor, someone who, alongside Mark, would be part of every chapter of my life. I never imagined my happiness could be shattered by both of them. It all started one ordinary night when I was going through Mark's phone. Nothing special, just curiosity. I know it may sound like a lack of trust, but honestly, I had no reason to doubt him. Never. Mark had always been attentive, loving, and devoted. He was the kind of guy who always showed me how much he loved me. So that night I was just checking something, and without meaning to, I found what I didn't want to see. Conversation between Mark and Anna. What I read was like a knife to my chest. The words were too clear. "I love you, Anna. Let's do this again." My stomach turned and I froze, unsure of what to do. Pain was instant. I didn't know whether to cry or scream. My thoughts were confused, but something inside me told me to stay calm, to not act on impulse. That wasn't what they expected from me. Instead of confronting them right away, I decided I would do things differently. I wasn't going to be that woman who yells, who falls apart, who loses control. No, I was going to be smarter than that. I knew that to get the most painful revenge, I needed a plan. Something subtle, something that would mess with their emotions, make them question everything they thought was real. And I knew exactly who could help me with that: Alex, Mark's brother. Alex had always been a mystery to me. He wasn't as present as Mark, but there was something about him that always drew me in silently. He was always there, observing but never intruding, respecting boundaries. But somehow I knew he was different from Mark. He wasn't involved in the same lie I had been living. It was the perfect opportunity. I started to get closer to him, carefully but naturally. I knew Alex was going through a tough time, not knowing what was happening between Mark and Anna, and I started to be more present in his life, more than usual. I spent more time at Mark's family house, trying to act casual, but deep down I was calculating every move. Getting closer to Alex was a game of patience. Every glance we exchanged, every word, every touch, it was all part of the plan. But over time, I realized that things were becoming more intense than I had anticipated. I wasn't just doing this for revenge anymore. I was starting to feel attracted to him. Alex was looking at me differently now, not as Mark's friend, but as something more. We started meeting more often, and with every meeting, the tension between us grew. I could see that he was beginning to like me, and slowly I also began to realize that it wasn't just revenge I felt. It wasn't just the desire to make Mark suffer. It was something deeper, something I hadn't planned, but something that, at the same time, was irresistibly pulling me in. Alex was the opposite of Mark. He didn't have the same easy charm, but he had a strong presence, a sense of mystery that made me want to be around him. With every conversation, every moment we spent together, I felt more confused. How could I be falling for him, Mark's brother, the man I somehow considered part of my enemy? But I couldn't deny what was happening. The situation started to get out of control, and I found myself more and more torn. The revenge, which initially seemed like something simple and calculated, was now becoming much more complex. It was no longer just about making Mark suffer for his betrayal, but also about understanding what I truly wanted. Desire, revenge, love, it was all tangled together, and I no longer knew what to do with the feelings that were emerging inside me. Then came the moment. Alex and I could no longer control the attraction between us. Chemistry was impossible to ignore. One night, when we were alone, we finally gave in. Passion between us was overwhelming, and I knew it would change everything. But no matter how much I tried to convince myself that it was all part of my plan, deep down I knew it was real. And the most painful part, I was falling for him. Meanwhile, Mark had no idea what was going on. I knew he wouldn't have any clue about how the situation was shifting. He thought everything was under control. And that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted him to feel helpless, to start questioning everything. I knew that for him it would be more painful not knowing what was happening, not understanding the signs. I knew that uncertainty and doubt would be my best allies. But as my relationship with Alex intensified, I began to question myself. Was my revenge really worth it? Or, in the end, was I giving in to something that had no way back? What was happening between Alex and me was more than just a way to get back at Mark. I knew it had meaning. The only question was what I was feeling for Alex real, or was it just the reflection of a pain I hadn't yet overcome? I knew my heart was in a dilemma. What started as a revenge plan was becoming something much deeper, and I didn't know what to do with it. I was on a dangerous path, and the truth was I didn't know where it would lead. What more was I willing to lose for my revenge? And what did I really want in the end? To see Mark and Anna suffer, or to find true love, even if it came from such a complicated and painful situation? I just knew one thing: I couldn't turn back. The game had started, and no matter what happened from here on out, I was ready to see how far it would go. The story is far from over. So, what would you do if you were in my shoes? Have you ever been through something similar? So, let me know in the comments, because I want to hear what you would do in a situation like this. Would you seek revenge too? If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps me bring more stories like this your way. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you never miss a chapter of this twist-filled drama. And if you know someone who'd relate to this, share the video with them. Let's see where this revenge story is headed, shall we? Also, make sure you hit the bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I post something new. You won't want to miss what's coming next. It's going to get even more intense. See you soon.